a catastrophe of epic proportions. There's not enough kitty litter in the world to bury this turd.
Good Lord.
Oh, well, soulmates, we just watched Cats, the film based on the musical that just came out. And yeah, my name's Soulkeeper, of course.
And I'm Astrid.
And yeah. Wow. This was this movie was really bad. I guess it's to be expected because it got terrible reviews.
Yes.
But I didn't really know anything about Cats going into it.
Yeah, I didn't realize when we went to go see this that you were unfamiliar with the musicals, because you're more into musicals than I am.
I'm not that into musicals. I just know like about a select few. Like I kind of know about the producers, and I kind of know about maybe Camelot a little bit, but other than that, not really.
Okay.
Where do you even begin with a movie like this? I mean, I know where to begin at the beginning, but there's so many criticisms to level at this piece of crap. Like, it boggles the mind just watching this movie. And apparently, based on like the reviews that it's getting, everyone is realizing that this movie is just terrible. But not just the movie, that the musical Cats is actually terrible. Yeah,
I mean, I would hope that's what it is. But based on the fact that most of people's complaints are specifically about the aesthetics, I'm not sure.
I'm not really getting why people are so concerned about the whole Uncanny Valley thing. It's
like the musical itself isn't already a little Uncanny Valley.
Right. It's not the design or the aesthetic of their costumes and everything wasn't the part that really bothered me.
No.
A lot of people are freaked out by the fact that you got like humanoid cats, but that's not bothering me at all, really.
Yeah, that's how the musical is.
That's exactly like the musical. It's just that they did it with CGI instead of costumes, which is a whole nother discussion as far as I'm concerned.
Right, and we could talk about that. I got things to say about that.
Yeah, I really don't understand why they did the whole CGI thing and not the costumes. When you looked at the credits at the very end of the movie, it had a whole litany of CGI artists. Mm-hmm. So wouldn't it make sense just to, I don't know, save some money and be a little truer to the production by having costumes on these people? I mean, they didn't look like real cats anyway. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So my thoughts on that are if they'd have gone with the costumes route, it would have made the characters easier to identify, because in the musical, they all have a distinct look. And like part of the way that you tell them apart is, you know, like how even in this movie, like Mr. Mistopheles, he's got like a little tuxedo magic outfit on, and that's how you because he's a tuxedo cat. Like it's supposed to be a pun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, and it's like the cats with the big fur coats on. And okay, in this, they gave them the big fur coats when they're already wearing like the CGI fur. And that made no sense to me, because the only one whose fur coat would have served a purpose would have been Rebel Wilson's, and she didn't have one.
Yeah. Instead, she had a whole nother getup, and we're going to get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
And the costumes just. I'm really ambivalent about them, because on one hand, I thought they didn't freak me out at all. Mm-hmm. I just thought that it's kind of hard to tell the cats apart, especially when all these cats are apparently supposed to have their own distinct look.
Yes,
and
the main characters at least.
And another big problem I noticed was like the singing within the musical itself. Mm-hmm. A lot of these actors or singers, I guess, really tended to oversing all their parts. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely cannot stand that in a musical like this, where, you know, they're supposed to be revealing the plot through the singing, because we're certainly not getting it through the visuals.
I would agree with that, yeah.
And when you reveal plot through singing, good God, you cannot oversing. You have to keep it simple.
Yeah, you gotta enunciate.
You have to enunciate. You can't just, hit all these crazy high notes where you start blending your consonants.
We're looking at you, Jason Derulo.
Yes. So
I did enjoy him in this, but it was impossible to understand, like you said, what some of them were singing about.
Yeah, so by the time, half these people started singing, I was completely fucking lost because I couldn't understand them.
Right.
And since I couldn't understand them, I had no idea what was really happening. And the visuals did not help. The visuals were kind of random. Yeah, the visuals were weird. Well, why don't we jump into like what we thought this movie was going to be. You're probably going to have a much different idea of what this movie was going to be from what I thought it was going to be. Yes. Who should go first? I'm going to go first because yours is probably going to be pretty expected. Yeah. What I thought it would be something like a character study of cats, like life as a cat. And I thought we'd see this cat over here living like the high life. And then we'd see this other cat over here getting fat on Fancy Feast. And then we'd see like an alley cat over here killing to survive and all that good stuff. We'd get like a scene with each cat exploring its life and whatnot, sort of like an anthology piece. Mm-hmm. And then since each scene would be a different cat, they'd all come together at the end for a big unifying number. Just, I don't know, cap things off and have a good send off. Mm-hmm. And well, on one hand, I was expecting a little bit of something because people were raving about Cats the musical, but I also didn't expect a lot because I knew this movie was getting terrible reviews. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of in a weird place. Mm-hmm. You know what's funny is that more or less kind of is what the musical is. Like, it is meant to be a character study of cats. Yeah. That's why the last song sings about, and a cat is not a dog, and you gotta address it differently. Each cat has its own personality. See, we kind of got that, but it was so bad. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. No, it's not a good musical. It was so poorly done, and there were too many characters. Mm-hmm. And it did show house cats and alley cats, and each cat had a different song, and then they all did have a unifying number in the beginning and one at the end. Yeah. So your expectations were kind of accurate. It's the execution. The execution was so poor that it was hard for me to follow anything. Mm-hmm. That's probably my biggest complaint about this one is not necessarily the aesthetic, just the performance was terrible. Mm-hmm. And the story and the writing, just the bones of it sucked. Yes. Yeah, I have a problem with both. I don't like that they did all the CGI instead of hiring a competent special effects makeup artist and costumer, because it's like The Lion King. The costumes are half the fun. Yeah. You know? Like, I loved seeing, like, the way they do, like, the big elephants and, like, the giraffes and that sort of thing. Those costumes are half the fun. Don't take those away from me. Why would you change one of the most defining aspects of the original musical? Because I've seen pictures. Mm-hmm. All the costumes in that look great. Why would you mess with that? Mm-hmm. And I didn't like that everybody was barefoot. That everybody's complaining on the internet about the hands. It's the feet that bugged me. I don't think they're barefoot in the musical. I think they're wearing shoes because it's ballet, right? Well, yeah, that, and you're supposed to wear shoes on a stage just because of, like, union rules, man. Yep. It's gross. It was gross. I saw, like, Idris Elba, I love you. I don't need to see your feet that close. Also, they couldn't decide who was wearing shoes and who was going to go barefoot. Yeah. They kind of just chose at random. Some of them had, like, shoes on for stylistic reasons. And other people were just parading around barefoot. And then there's like one cat that's wearing pants with suspenders and a hat for no reason. He's got like the Mickey Mouse look going on. Yeah, I think that was the tap dancing guy. Yeah, the railroad train cat. And I get that why they had the tap dancing, because when you do the tap dancing fast, it kind of sounds like the train taking off. Yeah. But, and then everybody was wearing tap shoes for that. So. Which, like, I don't get, because I don't know. Because a lot of the, like, ballet is supposed to look like movements that cats do, but instead a lot of the ballet was just regular ballet. I feel like and I could be wrong, it's been a while since I've seen it, I feel like in the musical, the ballet was less ballet and more like cat dancing. Mm-hmm. And this one, it was like they straight up hired like a London ballet, I don't know, like a prima ballerina for this. I wasn't getting a lot of cat movements out of this. I mean, I was getting like some weird vibes from most of the cat movements felt kind of weird. I think that's why everybody thought it was so sexual. I think the cat movements came off as sexual to a lot of people. They kind of did in some regard. I mean, I didn't really get straight up horny vibes or anything, but some of the cat movements were so strange that they did come off a little sexual rather than cat-like. Like the way that they were getting on, the way that at one part, they were shaking their tails in the air. It just kind of felt like one big mating call.
Yeah, yeah. And since a lot of these cats were kind of like a street gang, I feel like they shouldn't have all suddenly had tap shoes on. I don't know. Because you're already doing so much CGI, you may as well have just CGI'd in the regular feet and kept the tap noises. And had it been like their claws or something making the noise.
So what did you think this movie was or what did you think it was going to be?
I didn't think they'd all have bare feet. That's honestly the only difference. There's one other thing that I expected to happen that happens in the musical that did not happen in this, and it gives the entire musical a different vibe.
Okay, so everything was as expected for you.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right.
It was very much kind of what I was thinking it would be. It was pretty par for the course for cats.
All right, well, let's talk about what the movie actually was. So, me and Astrid here, we had some free passes for the movie theater, and we decided to use them on this piece of shit because God knows we didn't want to pay for it.
Yes.
Good Lord. Well, we went in there, and we were a little late, but I don't think we really missed anything, honestly, because by the time we got in there, I mean, the cats were just flailing around, and they weren't making hardly any sense. I couldn't really tell what they were singing about, but they were kind of just going on about Jellicle this and Jellicle that, and I was just sitting there thinking to myself, what the fuck is Jellicle? What does that even mean?
Yeah, I think all we missed was her being tossed outside in a box. Victoria, the character whose perspective we're kind of seeing all of this through, she's like a newly abandoned cat.
Yeah, we're seeing this through from the perspective of this newly abandoned cat played by this unknown ballet dancer who just got picked for this particular movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is going to be her breakthrough role because this movie was atrocious.
No, she'll probably just go back to doing ballet because that's what she's good at.
Yeah, I don't think she even had any lines in the movie. Did she? If she did, I don't remember.
She had some lines. She had one song. She had some lines.
I don't think she was like a terrible actress when she was delivering her lines or anything.
No.
She was just unremarkable.
Right. I honestly couldn't tell you if Victoria was a character in the actual musical. That's how little this character has to do with things.
I actually did click on some of the links on the Cats page, and apparently she is a character in the musical.
Okay, so then she's, the driving force for the plot. She's why they're explaining everything.
Yeah, she kind of represents the audience in this movie.
Right. And I maintain it is a lot easier to understand this movie if you think about Jellicle as just a cult. Jellicle is the name of the cult that all these cats follow, Children of the Corn style.
When I think about that, then it finally makes a little bit of sense, even though I'm still trying to wrap my head around what it's supposed to be, because it's just some abstract word they're throwing out there. It's gibberish. It's a nonsense word.
Right.
You gotta let go of it. Jellicle is just what these cats are. They're part of this big cult that makes this big decision about who's gonna get reborn, but only the leader gets to choose, of course.
Yes, Jellicle isn't a breed.
Yes,
it's a creed.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
We get that song, and then there's no exposition at all or anything, and then they go into the graveyard. And meanwhile, let's keep in mind here, the camera is just swinging around, and it's really disorienting to look at. So all this visual information is hitting you, and you don't have any time to process it really as the movie is happening. The camera was whipping around so much that it was making you sick initially. Yeah,
I left that movie a little nauseous, and not just because it was bad, because of the camera work.
Literally, Astrid was left sick after watching Cats because of the shitty camera work. And really, they're going on about how cats need to have these three names while they're in this graveyard or something. I think they were in a graveyard.
Yeah, they were in a graveyard.
It was going by so damn fast, it was hard for me to tell.
Yeah, and I don't know why they moved the camera so much, because the whole point of, they're dancing already, so there's plenty of movement.
And what the hell was going on? Did this cameraman have Parkinson's or some shit?
I think they might have just been trying to fudge the the contrast between how well the people they hired from the actual ballet danced and how poorly the actors who don't have a background of dance danced.
God.
You know what I mean? I think it might be that. And they're like, if the more you move it, the less they have to move.
Are you kidding me?
No, I think that's it.
That's why the camera work was so bad?
Because did you notice that the camera wasn't moving nearly as much for, like, Victoria's dance scenes?
Yeah, I noticed.
And, like, when none of them were dancing, it didn't move so much. And as soon as everybody was dancing, they'd move it around a lot.
Oh, my God.
I think that's why.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I don't even get motion sickness from stuff like that. I'm just sitting there wondering, why does the camera feel like it's just shaky all the damn time? It feels like the cameraman's just jostling it around every which way, swinging it to focus on other people, when a simple cut would have sufficed.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Oh, that's awful. That is such a cheap, dirty, low-life thing to do. You piece of garbage filmmakers.
Yep.
Should be ashamed of what you've done.
Yeah, they should be, though.
We were really uncomfortable in one of these next parts when they went into this the home of this character played by Rebel Wilson. While they were watching her roll around, Rebel Wilson was just acting fat.
Yeah.
Like acting like a fat ass, I guess, is what the gist of this was.
Yeah. It's like she's a fat person, and that's cool.
We understand.
Why did you have to make all of her humor surrounding, like, just fat jokes? Like, y'all get that you have fat people in your audience, right? That might not find it funny that they're, once again, the butt of the jokes and, like, I can't stop thinking about food and that makes me clumsy. Like, there are fat ballet dancers you could have hired for this.
Believe it or not.
Who are very graceful.
I'm not sure they realize fat people don't think about food all the time.
I'm not sure they do either, because there were 2 songs about it.
Gee, right.
There was also,
like, they had 2 songs about how a couple of these cats just can't stop eating, can't stop thinking about food.
They had them, like, jumping into trash cans.
Yeah, they had Rebel Wilson rolling around and being clumsy and falling off shit.
Right? They made it, like, so that she had a hard time standing back up after she rolled around.
Like she was a beached whale or some bullshit.
Right? It was just, I don't know. It was just cheap. It felt like when they made Fat Thor and they just made all those jokes about, like, you need to eat a salad.
Yeah.
Like, it's not funny. And I guess it's, like, a little better than that because at least Rebel Wilson is actually fat and consented to do this role.
She was definitely mugging for the camera again and again and again. Right. She was mugging for the camera so much it felt cheap.
Yeah.
She was mugging so much for the camera I thought they were going to hand her a cup of coffee.
Right.
Good Lord.
They thought they were going to pour a cup of coffee out of her.
Yeah. And, besides all this, doesn't she notice that people are watching her, or she does just not care and she likes showing them how fat she is, or what? Is that what the character's doing here? Is that her purpose?
Yes.
Just for them to mock her and she's letting them mock her?
Yes. That's because they all have to show why they want to be reborn.
Okay, so what? She hates being fat or she loves being fat?
I think that's the problem with this. I think it's that she hates being fat.
Well, I didn't get any of that from that performance. I didn't feel like she hated being fat. I felt like she was relishing and just being clumsy and shit.
Because she's like, I got to get out of this house. I can't stand being here.
Oh, okay. Oh God, I can't even remember that.
Right? And that's why she's, like, doing all those weird things and, like, teaching the mice to dance and the roaches to dance, but also she's eating them.
Oh, my God.
I think it's, like, because she's bored. So basically they were making jokes that I'm eating because I'm bored.
This house had so many roaches.
Yeah, this house needed to be condemned.
I mean, there were hundreds and hundreds of roaches just marching throughout the house, and she was just every so often plucking one and eating one.
Yep.
And the roaches were humanoid too, by the way. That was fun yet weird. Very
weird. And then I cannot ignore this. We said Rebel Wilson's character was the only one where she should have had an actual fur coat on over her CGI fur.
This is an ongoing thing, and she would take off her fur coat and have a jazz suit underneath.
Yes, but like it was like she unzipped her cat skin. It wasn't like she was wearing an actual fur coat on top of the CGI.
Yeah.
Because she just unzips her CGI fur skin and she's got a jazz suit under it.
It was so weird. why is she wearing this skin suit all the damn time?
I don't know.
That apparently blends in seamlessly with her other outfit. Mm-hmm. And I guess probably also makes her look even fatter than she really is.
Yeah. And it's not like they're going for a realistic, well, she's always got it on because she's ready to perform thing. Because then they show her later on and she's zipped back in it when she clearly dropped her cat skin on the ground. So why didn't they just do like a straight on cartoon spin around in your dressed thing?
I don't know.
Like a more traditional vibe that's way less creepy.
It seemed like they were just trying way too hard with this particular outfit or this particular character. Mm-hmm. When they probably could have just kept it a lot simpler and just, if she was going to put on a jazz outfit or something, why couldn't have she just been wearing a fur coat? And then taking that off, and there would be the jazz outfit.
Yes. Or you know what would have been cute is if she put on like a fancy jazzy collar with like the fringe on it and danced in that.
Or what if she just popped in the closet and then came back out with a jazz outfit?
Yeah.
That would have made more sense than wearing it underneath your skin suit.
Right? That's just going to chafe.
Dude.
You're going to get a yeast infection.
I didn't understand it, but the movie moves so fast that you kind of have to let it go as they just bulldoze right into the next scene.
Yeah, you don't really, at least you could say that's positive about it. They don't really give you time to dwell.
Yeah, unfortunately, because then you don't really get to understand what's happening either. We see Busterfer Jones, and he's just as, he's a lot fatter than the character Wilson's playing. And he's played by James Corden, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And he's even fatter than James is in real life.
Yeah, they definitely made it. Like, then they pick, it's
and this is just a string of more fat jokes, except this guy just loves being fat. Yes. He wants to get reborn so he can get fat all over again.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
Look how fat I am.
That's the thing that happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you're saying, Rebel Wilson, I think, is the size in the movie that she is in real life. James Corden.
I don't know, but he looks like he ate like 25 other cats.
Yeah, they picked a fat person, and then they had to make him even fatter. Like, there aren't actual, like, really fat people out there that you could have cast in this.
I'm so fat, I dig through the trash to find my food.
Right? And they just had him literally, his whole song was about how much he loved to eat, and he was just digging through the trash outside of presumably like a restaurant. And he's just showing all the other skinny cats where all the good food is, and they're knocking down trash cans. And there's this like really uncomfortable, it was like, I guess it was cleverly done, but it was just mean, where it's like he's on like the end of this like lever, like a plank. And this other cat jumps down and he looks at him like annoyed, like, just you is not going to get me over. Like,
when you have a lever like that, it doesn't take that much force to get something to move.
Right.
Like, right. That's just the law of physics. It would take maybe 2 cats to get them up flying.
Yeah, but instead they have like several more cats up top that are going to jump down, and one of them is holding like a paperweight. Yeah,
they have a combined weight of maybe, I don't know, 80 pounds jumping down on the other end of that saw.
Yeah.
Or that lever. And finally it launches up in the air, and guess what happens? He clumsily lands on his crotch.
Right.
As he's going into like this trash can.
And what's kind of funny is nobody in the audience laughed at the crotch shot.
Nobody laughed. It was just dead silence. Like, all the jokes that Rebel Wilson and this, James Corbin I don't know, that Busterfer Jones were doing, they all landed flat. Nobody was laughing.
Yep.
I wasn't laughing. You weren't laughing.
Nope.
Nobody else was laughing. This was not a funny movie. And you know what? Fat phobic jokes don't really land like they did back in the 90s.
Yep.
You have to be a little bit more clever than that if you want to make like a weight-related joke anymore.
Yep. Fat phobia and crotch shots are out.
Just looking at somebody who's fat going, look how tubby you are, isn't going to hack it, bro. Whoever came up with this crap. This was obviously like a throwback to the 80s, back when this first came out, when people thought that kind of shit was hilarious.
Did this come out in the 80s?
Yeah, Cats came out in like 81.
That makes so much sense. Okay, they wrote it on cocaine.
Yeah, they wrote it on cocaine, and they wrote it according to 80 standards. And no one bothered to look at this and say, maybe we should make a few updates.
Right. They did make a few updates. They just weren't the right updates.
Yeah, they made all the updates in the wrong areas.
Yup.
Good job, guys. Good job. Oh, my God. I will say that Bustifer is one of the only people I could understand while they were singing. So I made sense of what his whole deal was because, you know, the guy who was playing him wasn't a trained singer or anything. He was just... Or maybe he'd had some, but he wasn't like known for his singing.
Yeah, he might have taken some voice lessons. I don't know.
I have no idea, but the point is he didn't oversing.
Yeah,
And I really like that because when you do this kind of thing where you're singing with a movie that reveals a lot of its plot through singing, you have to sing very simply with enunciation, and you can't get all flowery with it because people have to be able to understand you. And I can't believe that they didn't get this. And this movie was made by the same guy who did Les Miserables. I could understand Les Miserables because, again, they weren't over singing.
Yeah. Broadway singing is very different. You know, it's like Disney singing.
Yeah.
You gotta tone it down because you're giving exposition during it.
Exactly. And if you're giving exposition, dude, check your ego at the door and give the people what they need.
Yeah. Jason Derulo.
And Hugh Jackman in Les Miserables, his singing was perfectly fine. I could understand him perfectly.
Forgot he was in that.
Yeah, and he was great. His singing was on point. He sang very well, and he sang very intelligibly. Thank you, Hugh. And Russell Crowe, who just bellowed throughout that entire movie. People criticize him for it, but you know what? I could understand him, so if you don't like it, too bad, because Russell Crowe did the right thing. That's my point of view on this. Bustifer, he's like the only guy I could understand in this damn thing. And that's embarrassing.
I think Jennifer Hudson was also intelligible. You could understand her as well.
Okay, well, I couldn't understand her as well as Bustifer, honestly. During a few of her songs, she was getting to be a bit much.
I could understand what she was saying.
I couldn't really make out half of what she was saying.
Yeah, might have helped that I was looking right at her mouth.
And actually, the other guy I could understand was Idris Elba because he was just talk singing for all of his part. You know, he was McCavity. And I don't know if McCavity talk sings in like the play or what.
I do not believe he does.
Well,
I think Idris Elba maybe just can't sing.
Well, you know what? It works in his favor because I could understand him.
I feel like Buster Jones was talk singing for part of his too.
That, again, totally fine because guess what? We can understand what they're saying, and that's what counts. I was really confused by McCavity's helpers during this one scene where they took what is it? Jennifer was her name? Or Victoria. Okay. They took Victoria in like this house and they were going through all the food and sitting at the dinner table and eating all the finery and breaking plates and shit like that and going in the beds and trying on clothes and stuff. I don't really understand what was going on here and why they were doing it. It was really confusing to me, and I didn't even understand that they were McCavity's helpers.
Yeah.
I remember just looking at you during that part and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I can't make heads or tails. What the fuck is going on here, Astrid?
Yeah, they're, it's not like they're in a different cult, but they're in, I guess, maybe more like a guild.
Okay.
It's like, not to keep referencing better movies, but like, you know, in Pinocchio, when he falls in with the bad crowd at that like Donkey Island situation.
Oh, yeah.
It's I guess a little like that. Because like she's new on that like alley, and there's like the Jellicle cats who are all in this one cult, and they're supposed to be the good guys.
Okay, so
and then the villainous cats.
Okay, so they're doing like a real black and white thing where they're separating the Jellicles as the quote unquote good cats.
Yes.
And McCavity's people as the bad cats.
Yes, because they're the ones who are not in the cult.
Because they think for themselves.
Yes.
Well,
or they've pissed someone off. That's unclear to me.
Well, it's pretty clear that they piss someone off or they don't believe in the bullshit because they don't really do anything that's all that different from the Jellicle cats.
Right.
I mean, the Jellicle cats broke into like this cream shop or milk shop or whatever it was, and they drank a whole bunch of milk on someone's dime, and they're stealing all kinds of other random things all over the place. So I don't understand why the Jellicle cats are so good and McCavity's people are so bad. It seems like they're kind of just Cats trying to live.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, while you mentioned the milk shop, though, that was another strange stylistic choice in this because they bothered to have all the props be really big so that the humans are supposed to be like cat size in comparison. But all of the stores are themed like cat stuff. So why didn't you just make it where like little cartoons with the animals in them, where it's like you're at the big place, but then there's a little animal place within it. Yeah. Like in is it The Rescuers, where it's like they're at the restaurant and there's the tiny mouse restaurant inside it.
I think I don't really remember
that sort of thing.
One of the things I really noticed about like the milk shop and then the place that McCavity's helpers take Victoria into.
I think that was just somebody's apartment.
Yeah, somebody's apartment. Yeah. I noticed that the proportions were really, really screwy. They were like constantly changing. These cats would either look really small next to whatever they were handling, like the forks or the chairs.
Yeah.
Or sometimes be wearing buttons that looked absolutely huge on them. When you put a button on a cat in real life, the button isn't that big. It really isn't.
Like when those helpers take Victoria into that apartment and they're going through like their underwear and the jewelry, and like the underwear, they pull it out and it looks about the right size compared to a cat. But then like they put on the jewelry and like Victoria puts these little tiny earrings on as bracelets.
Yeah.
Like earrings that are supposed to, like just those little ones that clip onto your ears that are about the size of your bottom earlobe.
Again,
wearing them as a loose bracelet.
The proportions were all over the place.
Yep.
It was weird, and it felt like they didn't even try.
Yeah.
They felt like they were just doing whatever they wanted from scene to scene, which probably exactly was what they were doing.
Yep.
They were just, making it up as they went along to suit the movie. I don't understand why some cats were wearing like shoes and pants throughout all this. And why some cats wore like big fur coats and other ones just had CGI animated on top of them.
Yeah.
The costuming was really, really all over the place too.
It was. And they made Idris Elba.
Yeah, McCavity.
McCavity, like part of his song is that he's a ginger cat. They didn't even try and make him tabby.
Yeah, what the hell was going on with that?
We couldn't give him a little red in him. A little bit of orange.
Not even a hint of red. I mean, McCavity was a completely black cat.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why they made him a black cat when they have several, black actors in this movie and they're all made up, all different shades of cat.
Right, yeah. Why'd you have to make the, one real bad guy, the only black cat in the movie?
Especially when he sings a line about being ginger.
Yes.
Obviously, then, you should make him ginger. Idris Elba was perfectly fine in the role, but why wasn't he ginger?
Yeah.
That did not make sense. It was stupid. And you have to believe that, all these actors are wearing motion capture suits, I read.
Yeah.
So while they're filming, they have no idea what the fuck they're going to look like in the final product.
Yeah, that's those poor people. That had to have been disappointing.
Yeah. So Idris Elba, he's doing his thing, probably thinking, "Oh, I'm singing about being a ginger cat. I'm going to be a ginger cat." Obviously, Nope.
And I don't think Victoria is that bright, because like when McCavity comes on the scene and all the other cats aren't, I don't think that bright. Well, I guess it's not really a defining feature of cult members. But
yeah, they're all a little dense.
Like they all come out to get her in the beginning and like they're singing about what a jellicle cat is, like they're gonna, take her into their group.
Yeah, they sing about what a jellicle cat is, and I still don't know what a jellicle cat is.
Jellicle cats in the jellicle cult, and when the jellicle moon is full, the jellicle cats make their jellicle choice about which jellicle cat they'll cull.
Oh, God. If you did a drinking game with the word jellicle in it, you would get alcohol poisoning.
Yes, you would. And you wouldn't make it to the second half of the movie either.
Which would probably be a gift.
Yes. They come out and they're like, "Oh, we're going to take you under our wing." And then as soon as McCavity comes, they scatter and they don't bring her with them.
Yeah, they just leave her there.
They just left her like she's supposed to know that he's bad when she says she just got there.
So they're kind of stupid for not telling her, "Oh, McCavity is real bad." And she's kind of stupid for not looking at them running and wondering, "Gee, should I go with them?"
Right? Just hanging out. And then when the other cats are like, "Oh, come with us," she's like, "Sure."
She should be a little bit more frustrated with them.
Yeah, she should be.
For not telling her that McCavity is going to get her.
Right?
Although I don't think McCavity necessarily had anything evil in store for her. McCavity's big motivation here, apparently, is to be chosen to be reborn.
Yes.
Which does not involve her in any way.
No, it doesn't.
So
he might just want to recruit her as one of his thieves.
Which, I mean, whatever.
It's a living. She did seem to have the most fun when she was in that apartment, like, breaking stuff.
Yeah, she seemed like she was having a good time. I mean, she looked like she was having the time of her life.
Yes,
and for some reason, they tried to leave her for the dog. They were just trying to get rid of her for what? It's not like she was going to compete.
I think that was just accentuating that they're the bad guys.
Well, that's just poorly written. Oh my god.
Yeah, Cats is not a good musical, people.
It's not. I mean, if that's the only reason that scene exists, then why? It's dumb.
Yup. This is why you have to be a Jellicle cat. Protection.
Protection against the others.
Yes.
You're scared of the others, aren't you?
If you want to be safe, all you have to do is everything we tell you, without question.
You know how we were talking about all the weird uncat-like movements and how they inadvertently felt like they were kind of sexual?
Yeah.
I guess that's where I felt like the tails were feeling a little phallic.
Yeah.
And you didn't think that they felt very phallic, but I
did not. But
I was getting kind of a phallic vibe from all the poor cat-like movements that they put in this movie. Mm-hmm. And that's why it really felt that way to me. Mm-hmm.
It did kind of bother me that the placement of the tail seemed a little low. It kind of seemed like the tail was coming right out of the butthole.
It's like no one on the design team has ever seen a butthole in their lives.
Right.
I know a cat has its butt in like a kind of a different place than a human does, but also you design these cats to look like humanoid cats.
Yes.
So,
these cats also have paws where their hands were, so let's not pretend like you guys did this because of an anatomical choice.
Yeah, this is what it is. This is some uncanny valley stuff. Just run with it. Make it what it is. Why are you putting tails out of the buttholes, guys? It's weird.
You made a butt plug tail.
Ooh.
And like those exist.
Ooh, those do exist and they're weird.
Yes.
Actually, yes, they're weird.
Yes, they're weird.
I will not qualify that any further with any more actuallys.
I think even the people who use them know that they're weird.
Oh, they know, and that's why they like it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I'm bothered by it. I'm just saying it's weird.
Yes. This movie honestly could have benefited from some furry input.
And I think
they would have told them to put some goddamn paws on those fursuits.
How many furries do you think were disappointed by this film?
And they'd been like, why are there human feet? Mm-hmm.
Where's the paws?
Right.
It gave them paws is what it did.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. It really felt like all the feet and the hands were kind of just... we saw the new version of the film that they downloaded after the whole fiasco where they released the first quote unquote version of the movie that was unfinished. It still looked like the hands and the feet were kind of just floating around and that they were kind of unfinished, and some faces still felt like they were just plastered on these head models.
Yeah, because I don't think that's what they were changing.
Yeah.
They were just changing the hard line between, because it's like if you watch the original trailer, you can see the sleeves, like the sharp ending of the sleeves, and then there's just naked hands with no CGI.
Here's my beef. I am not okay with them getting a mulligan on releasing the first version of the movie. Mm-hmm. Once you release that version of the movie into theaters, that's the version that's out there. That's it. That's the theatrical cut. That's it. You do not get a mulligan.
We live in a brave new world, so.
Well, I do not accept this brave new world. It's bullshit. It is dishonest.
I'd rather it be dishonest and better. I wouldn't have been able to focus on anything. It'd be like if they all had camel toe for the entire movie.
Then they shouldn't have released the trailer. Then they shouldn't have released the movie when they did. But they did. And that's the version that should be the theatrical cut. They should not get a mulligan. And it's bullshit that they did.
You are so mad about this.
It is bullshit that they got a mulligan on this. I insist that they reinstate the first cut, the proper cut.
That's an awful idea. I disagree vehemently with that.
I do not think they should get a mulligan. They should have to suffer through whatever they get because they released that and it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't think they should have released that first, because I think that they probably started working on the edit after they released that first trailer and people were talking about the hands.
Yeah.
So I think they should have held off the initial release, like the extra 3 or 4 days until it was ready. Instead of releasing it on the same day as the new Star Wars movie, which was already also a bad choice.
I agree. With that. I agree that the release of this was completely ill-conceived. I mean, releasing it on the same day as Star Wars, what were you thinking? Of course your movie's flopping, you idiots.
Right?
It's like asking for your movie to fail, releasing against Star Wars.
Yep.
Dude. Don't try to fight a juggernaut like that. You're not that big.
You're Cats, not the Avengers. You're not going to compete.
No, not even a long shot. And no, they should not have released this movie in the state they did. Mm-hmm. But they did. They did release it.
Yes.
They shouldn't have released the trailer even.
They tried to do a nice rolling upgrade.
That's just the position I'm in. I think it's cheap and it's dishonest that they get to have a mulligan on a movie they already released. If they're going to do that, they should refund every single person who saw the original version of this movie.
They might have, actually.
They should. If they didn't, they should. Uh-huh. That's just the way I feel about it. We're gonna move past it now.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know why the graphics people thought that their job was done when you could still see the sleeves. I don't know. I disagree with them having to back off on the CGI on the face. I think it looked better when they had fur all the way down their foreheads.
Yeah, I really don't have a problem with the fur. I don't experience this uncanny valley thing about humanoids being like very, very much mixed with some other species or whatever. Mm-hmm. I guess people get weirdly freaked out by it. Mm-hmm. But it's like, haven't you ever read a fantasy novel, you nerd? Why are you? What the fuck? Have they ever fucking seen Star Wars?
I'm not sure. Obviously not that weekend they didn't.
Clearly. Goddamn, Star Wars is filled with these kinds of characters, like humanoid characters. Why is this what freaks you out, weirdo?
I would argue that it's creepy, because there's too much of the face. It's just the face on something else. The other ones, they did a lot more makeup.
I guess.
And less CGI. It's one thing to put, an extra CGI thing on a person. It's another, this is like Avatar type of... And even that, I think, might have been makeup.
Yeah, that was just mostly CGI models.
Okay. Yeah,
they didn't even look anything like, the characters who were representing them.
Okay. I didn't actually see Avatar.
Then why are you talking about it
I'm
like you know?
I'm basing it off of the commercials. In the sense that, they're CGI'd, I thought, right?
Yeah, the Avatar characters were CGI, but they didn't look anything like,
Was it motion capture?
It's probably motion capture, but it didn't look anything like the people who were playing them or voicing them. Okay.
But they sounded like themselves, right?
Yeah.
So then why weren't people creeped out by that? I guess is my point.
I guess because they didn't look like them.
All right.
Or they didn't look humanoid enough. I have no idea.
All right.
I have no idea. It's a weird thing that people are getting freaked out by. I don't really get it. Mm-hmm. I swear to God that at some point we saw Judi Dench's wedding ring.
We did.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
I thought that we did. I wasn't totally sure. Evidently, they did not cut that part out.
Yep.
So... yeah, we pretty much see Judi Dench's hands just, as they are.
Yeah.
They really did. It didn't look like they did anything to her hands, I thought.
I don't know why she didn't just take it off for the filming.
Maybe she can't get it off.
Maybe. Yeah, that does happen to some people.
Yeah, some people, their fingers, get bigger and then the ring is just stuck.
Right.
A lot of people have to get their ring cut off after their spouse dies.
So what happens when you sleep in your jewelry?
Yeah.
I'm surprised there aren't more people missing fingers. That's not even good for you. Married people, you don't become unmarried if you take your wedding ring off to sleep.
Yes, you do.
It's okay.
It's not okay.
It's not a moral failing.
My wedding ring will never leave my finger.
Oh, God, people do say that.
Oh, God, lost my finger.
Right? It bugged me. I'm still on the feet because it's like the way that they did that CGI in combination with the dance moves when they were focusing on the feet. Sometimes it's like they were floating, not quite on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they put the shadow underneath when there shouldn't have been one there.
Yeah, it felt like a weird video game thing. Like I'm playing some game from back in the early 2000s, man.
Like it was slightly glitching on us.
Yeah, like you're playing like an indie video game where the feet are kind of just hovering above the surface when you look totally down on the y-axis and see your character's feet in first person.
Yes.
And then you realize, oh, well, they did a subpar job on this. Wonder if the rest of this is good.
Yes.
The answer was a resounding no. McCavity, I want to talk about his powers.
Yeah, okay.
Because the powers were all over the place, like everything else.
Yes.
Like they did not make a concrete decision what McCavity's limitations were going to be. It seemed like he was just making things disappear at random, or he was appearing at random wherever he wanted. Like Rebel Wilson's character, he just magicked her away with a twist of his finger, and then he would just appear on top of signs or in alleyways, or he would slink out of the shadows whenever he felt like it.
Yes.
And
yeah, he can clearly teleport.
Yeah. And then at one point, he tricked Bustifer into going down a garbage chute, where I think he got teleported onto a barge. All the characters that he kidnaps are being teleported to this barge
in the middle of the Thames. Yes.
Yeah.
Because he's kidnapping the other contestants, if you will, who want to be reborn. Because the cult leader, Old Deuteronomy, is gonna make her jellicle choice for which jellicle cat is gonna be reborn into like their new perfect body for the life that they want.
So of course McCavity's not gonna get chosen because he's not part of their cult.
Right, but he thinks he can like win by game show rules. Like, you must be present at the time of the drawing sort of thing,
yeah.
Right? And he's like, by default, if I'm the only contestant here, I have to win.
Oh, little does he realize that how fast and loose the Jellicles play it.
Yup. Yup. And how strict they are about cult membership.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're not in the cult, you're boned. Sorry, McCavity. So that was something that really killed me. Just, his powers. He made Old Deuteronomy disappear very easily.
Yes.
And then
Old Deuteronomy, well, I mean, you'd think she doesn't have any powers, but also she's the one who can make you reborn.
Yeah.
So she must have some kind of power.
But she doesn't really use it if she apparently has the choice to reborn people or rebirth people.
Yeah.
Or I guess she has the ability to grant people powers too, it seems like. Which was another thing that wasn't really clear to me. But, okay, she's got all this power and I guess no idea how to use it.
Yes.
Or what apparently looks to me like no idea how to use it.
Yes.
Oh, God.
It's unclear to me whether she is granting the cats their power. Because it's like some of the cats, like they've got different little professions.
Yeah.
Like there's the magic cats who do actual magic. And then there's like the railroad cat who, as far as I can tell, is a mouser at the railroad, like rail station. I don't know. I think on the actual trains, not the platforms.
Yeah.
But like, I think the people might be okay with him being there, and that's why he's got a little uniform.
It's like his job.
Yeah, he's a little mouser cat. Then there's like the cats that have homes where they're, like a house cat. And then here's where it would have helped if, people were like talking normally instead of like singing wildly. But, like, because in the end, Old Deuteronomy, I think, is, like, assigning Victoria, like, her duty.
Yeah.
And we don't get because she's like, you are a jellicle cat. You're a something cat. And I don't know what the something was.
I could not understand.
Because, like, in the beginning, when they sing the Jellicle song, they start talking about all the different kinds of cats.
Yeah, like they had to have 3 names or something.
Yeah, they have to have 3 names, but also they're like, there's this kind of cat and that kind of cat and this kind of cat and that kind of cat.
Oh God, it was so confusing to me. I never really caught any of that.
They never do explain the name thing. Maybe just one of them is the name that you get called. One of them is like the name that your people gave you, and one of them is like your secret magic name.
Yeah, I didn't catch any of that. I swear to God.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
If you caught that, you caught so much more than I did, and I feel terrible that I never caught any of it. Actually. Well, I feel terrible that you caught it just because you had to suffer through it, where apparently I was in blissful ignorance.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, his powers have no rules, and he's so much more magic than the other magic cat. The other magic cat is clearly just learning, but because McCavity's not in the cult, he's got nobody that he can, like, apprentice under, so no wonder poor Mr. Mistopheles is, like, lost. And then instead of encouraging him because, hey, maybe it'd be good to have one magic cat on your team, they all make fun of him.
Yeah, they all make fun of him and treat him as a second-class kitty.
Yeah, like they're being real dicks about it. Like he's not working really hard.
And to be fair to him, he's not getting really any guidance from anybody.
Right.
He's just kind of figuring everything out on his own. And then at some point, they encourage him to do magic on the spot. And with all that pressure, he's got to figure out, oh, shit, I only know card tricks.
Yeah, you said, Soulkeeper said that at the theater during the part, and I busted out laughing.
Yeah, they were egging him on to do magic and bring Old Deuteronomy back after McCavity got Old Deuteronomy onto his barge. And while they were egging him on,
they're like, you can do it. You can do magic.
Mr. Mistopheles, something, whatever the lyric went. And then every time they paused, I said, but I only know card tricks.
Yeah. Yup.
And then they insisted again that he could do it. And then I said, I really can't.
Yeah, poor Mr. Mistopheles. And of course, at first, when he's trying, he can't. Nothing was happening.
Yeah, he tries a whole bunch of times, and it doesn't work. Because he doesn't have any magic, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, he finally gets it in the end.
Yeah, he finally gets it, but it's not really apparent why he was able to get it when he was not really a magical cat. Apparently, to the kid,
he is a magical cat. Yeah. He just couldn't control his magic.
Oh, well. He's never done magic.
He's like Harry Potter at the zoo.
He's never done magic a day before in his life, and suddenly he can just do magic. I was kind of wondering at that point, can all the kitties just do magic then?
Yeah, that, I think, is possible. If they all try as hard as Mr. Mistopheles tried, they might all be able to do magic.
And also, how was McCavity able to do magic? Did he just pick it up as a hobby?
I wonder if he just used to be in the cult, and that's why they're all scared of him, and then he broke away.
I think for myself now. I am evil.
Yeah. He's, what do they call it when you leave Scientology? Suppressive person. He's a suppressive cat.
At some point, they go into this theater, or what I guess was a theater, and something real goofy happened. Like Ian McKellen just started meowing.
Oh, yeah.
Because Ian McKellen's in the cast, and he just went meow, 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 meow as they were entering the theater.
Yeah, he just says meow a bunch of times.
And it was one of the goofiest damn things I have ever seen. I'm just wondering, is Ian McKellen just hedging all of his bets on his former glory as a Shakespearean actor, hoping that he gets away with this? Because I'm not sure I'm ready to let this go ever.
Right.
If I ever see him, I'm going to look at him and go, meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, maybe Ian McKellen just really likes the musical Cats.
I mean, maybe he does. I'm not going to hold it against him because he was probably having the time of his life doing it. Mm-hmm. He seemed like he was having a lot of fun just going around being a cat.
He did seem like he was having a lot of fun. It was funny, though, when he goes inside, and I think he like licks his hands a couple of times too. And he does. It's not like he meows. He just says meow, like meow, 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 meow.
Yeah.
And you went, ladies and gentlemen, a Shakespearean actor.
I
and
did.
again, I busted out laughing. We were the only people laughing in the theater.
Yeah, I said that in the middle of the theater, and I guess no one really found it amusing.
I guess
except
not.
us.
Yeah, there were a few points where we were laughing, and I think people just got annoyed with us for laughing.
I don't think anyone in the theater really liked us very much.
No, that's a uniting theme of Soulkeeper and Astrid going to the movies.
Yeah, whenever we go to the movies, we get someone who makes a comment, usually. Mm-hmm. Either they tell us to be quiet or something like that, or they're like, shh.
Yeah, or they'll shoot us a dirty look.
Yeah. Like, a lot of times Astrid will laugh, and she'll laugh really loud because something funny happened, and then they'll be like, can you be quiet?
Carries, and I don't apologize for that.
Yeah, so we had someone say to us, could you stop, please?
I'm like, no, it's funny. Wasn't that like a funny movie?
Yeah, it was at Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, and that also happened to be at Lego Batman.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is a kid's movie.
It's really,
if you want perfect silence, watch it at home.
It's gotten to the point where when people do that, I'm not very friendly at that point.
No, you're my big hero.
Yeah. I usually look at them and I just say, why don't you shut the fuck up?
Yeah, that was great. I love when you do that.
And then
it's hot.
And then they kind of just turn around and they don't say another word. Because usually when we're out in public, I do not look like a very nice person. I usually look like a biker.
Yeah, he does. With the beard and the do-rag and the long hair.
Yeah, I look...
And the mean expression.
And plus, I'm like 200 plus pounds.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Yeah, he's like a big triangle.
Yeah, a little bit. What happens in the theater next, I guess, is like the auditions. And I didn't really realize that they were doing the auditions just like, that.
Yes, because I think the Jellicle Moon just means a particular full moon. They meet once a year, and it's when their cult leader makes the choice.
Yeah.
And the cult leader, she was Judi Dench. She was old Deuteronomy, and they like leading her into the theater. And then they all sing their songs, and like they got to sing their song about what kind of cat they are because that's how she decides who's worthy.
Yeah, and it really wasn't clear to me that the auditions were happening here.
Uh-huh.
I thought they were just going in and having a party or something. It felt like, because they were all doing this big like lion dance and they were acting like cats, and everybody was engaging like this dance all around. Mm-hmm. And I as soon as they were done dancing and everything, I'm like, okay, that was a hell of a party there, I guess. So what's next?
Yes, it was the Jellicle Ball.
Yeah, that was the Jellicle Ball, and that was part of the audition, huh?
Well, I think that's just a formality.
Oh.
Like how, like an initiation rite.
Some of the cats that were up for the whole rebirth thing never even got to audition.
Yeah, because they were on the barge.
Like Buster Jones and whoever Rebel Wilson was playing. I guess it was weird that I get, everyone knew that these cats were up to audition for Rebirth, but they never showed up. So wouldn't someone sound the alarm?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wouldn't someone notice?
They might have noticed that, or I don't know.
Or did they just not care?
I'm not sure they cared. I think maybe they had the same attitude as McCavity, and they're like, well, less competition, more better chance for me. Because there were still other cats there singing.
Yeah. There were other cats there singing, and then there was the tap dancing number, which was actually pretty fun. That
was my favorite.
Yeah. I didn't mind the tap dancing scene too much. It's just another one of those things where I felt like the proportions of everything were kind of weird. It always felt like they were at one end of the extreme or the other end.
Yeah, why was the railroad track as wide as them?
Yeah, the railroad track was as wide as them.
Railroad length that the wheel goes on, like they were all dancing on that, like it was a sidewalk.
And then they would go into like the train cars, and then they'd be too big for the compartments. Mm-hmm. That's another thing that was striking me as really strange.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, you would get those two extremes on the proportions, and it's just, wow, were they even paying attention to what they were doing? What? How is that even remotely the same as the proportions of a cat?
Mm-hmm. Some of them, it's like they got into that bed, like the bed, back when rail travel was fancy. and had like sleeping compartments. They're in the sleeping compartments and they're getting in the bed, and it's the same size as they're the same size as a human getting into the bed. It's very strange.
Yeah, if they were going to have everything like the same size of a human, why didn't they just make everything the same size as a human and have these cats be like normal size? Mm-hmm. They could have just kept everything at human proportions, made up the humans like cats, and then they could have had themselves a movie.
Yes.
And it wouldn't have had to been all weird and everything with proportions all over the place.
Yes. You'd think that would have been the easy choice.
They're already creating this fantasy world. Why don't they just let it go and let the cats be like human proportion?
You brought up, how did Rebel Wilson escape by taking off her skin suit?
If she's wearing a skin suit, is the skin suit really that loose that she can just snake her way out of whatever trap she's in?
I wonder if she like picked the lock with the end of her skin suit zipper.
I don't really remember that.
They didn't show it, but that's the only way that I can think of that would help her get out.
As I recall, she kind of just slipped out of her chains by taking off her skin suit. I guess there's so much room underneath her skin suit, she's just able to wiggle her way out of situations.
Maybe. That makes even less sense than her picking it with the zipper.
During the scene where Taylor Swift appears for the one part of the movie, she's used a lot in the marketing of this movie. If in case you've watched the trailer at all, she's featured very prominently, but she only appears in the movie for maybe like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I really thought she'd have a bigger role.
She probably should have been the star of the movie.
She probably should have been.
Especially if they're going to do so much marketing with her in it. Mm-hmm. So if they're going to feature her so prominently that as though she is the star of the show, why didn't they just make her the star of the show?
Yeah.
And let go of any of the ballet stuff.
Yeah.
Because she probably would have had a lot more charisma than this girl that they just plucked from random out of the ballet. Mm-hmm. Not to knock the girl for her dancing or anything, but she's not Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is famous as all hell. Mm-hmm. You want to have a big musical movie, casting Taylor Swift seems like a no-brainer if you can get her.
Right, and they could get her. She was good with the McCavity song.
She was really good. She was performing very well, I thought.
I wish they'd put her in other songs.
They should have made her the main character.
Yeah.
And they should have focused a lot of the movie on her. Mm-hmm. And given, Victoria a bigger part.
Yeah, plus then she would have sang the song that she wrote for this, because she wrote this. One of the things that's different than the musical is that Taylor Swift and Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote another song just for this movie, and it was a good song.
It was okay song. It didn't blow me away or anything, but at least it was an original piece of music, and it was nice to have. Mm-hmm.
I liked that one. I thought it paired well with Memories.
I can't really understand any of the lyrics they sing anyway.
Memories was it's kind of what it sounds like. It's that, and Jennifer Hudson was Grisabella, and she was supposed to be like an old cat, like old disabled cat, and she wasn't. She was just Jennifer Hudson looking like a cat.
That was so weird that they were casting Jennifer Hudson as this old kitty who was so harried and so street worn and weary, but it was just played by this 35-year-old woman,
right,
who looked very young even with all the makeup on.
Yeah, you grate up her muzzle a little bit, but
did she just
put some lines on her, because you got Judi Dench and Ian McKellen there looking old.
What's the deal that such a young kitty was in such dire straits? Was she used for animal testing?
Yeah, I don't know. In the musical, they pick an old person. They make
because that's the logical choice for an old kitty.
Yeah, and she doesn't have any dancing because she just kind of hobbles around.
Why didn't they get, I don't know, Madonna or something? Or
that's so mean. Oh my god.
I mean, Madonna's 60.
Right.
So why wouldn't they pick her, or maybe, I don't know, Patti LaBelle or something?
Right. I don't know. But Grisabella's deal, I think, is that she used to be with McCavity, and so I'm sure they got into some shit, and she saw some shit, and then he discards her like trash.
And then, they don't want anything to do with her because she associated with an oppressive person or a suppressive person.
Exactly. So now she's fucked by association.
So, she's blacklisted by the genitals. Can't be around me anymore. Go away.
Never miss a chance to blame a woman for the actions of a man.
Oh, my God. I know.
So, so her song is about, like, memory. When I'm alone in the moonlight and I see my memories of, like, how I used to be. I used to be beautiful. I used to have hope. And now I'm just waiting to die. And then Beautiful Ghosts, which is the song that Taylor Swift wrote for this, was like kind of its companion song where she's like, you may be miserable now, but at least you've got memories to look back on. I just remember being thrown out in a box.
Oof. During Taylor Swift's song, McCavity kind of just took off his coat for the whole rest of the movie, too.
Yeah, he did.
That was weird.
It was weird.
Because up until this point, he'd been wearing his fur coat the entire thing, and then suddenly Idris Elba was just naked.
Yeah, and the coat did make him look villainous.
It made him look
big, broad shoulders. He had that little hat on. It made him look very villainous.
It made him look like a malicious person.
Then he took it off, and I spent the rest of the time trying to see if Idris Elba had a crotch bulge.
And he did not. They CGI'd his dick.
Yep.
Oh yeah, which is gotta be a serious blow to his ego, I imagine.
Right.
I mean, from a dude to another dude, boy, it hurts me right here.
You CGI out their crotch bulges, and then you also make crotch kicking jokes.
Yeah.
You can't have both.
I don't even know what to say. Mm-hmm. This movie, it does that.
It does.
And it makes your head hurt when they do stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Because you wonder, why is it there? Was that even in the musical? I don't know. I've never seen the musical.
I don't think there's crotch jokes in the musical. I don't remember any.
So many people say, oh, well, you appreciate it more if you've seen the musical. I shouldn't have to watch the musical in order to enjoy this. I shouldn't have to read T.S. Eliot's book in order to enjoy this. Okay. I should be able to watch this and just enjoy it for what it is.
To be fair, I did not say that you would appreciate it more if you saw the musical. I said you would understand it more.
Well, not necessarily you specifically, but other people who apparently enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
Insist that, oh, you'll enjoy it more if you watch the musical.
Uh-huh.
As though the musical was in fact enjoyable. Well, Astrid's stepfather has seen the musical, and he can confirm it sucks.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. He was talking about how he's gone to it several times, and every time he ended up leaving at intermission.
Because it was so bad and boring.
Yeah. He's like, he'd take people there, and he's like, by intermission, we all just wanted to go out to dinner.
Can't blame him for that.
Right. He said one time they had tickets up on the stage. There were like 10 chairs that were on the stage, and it still didn't make it good. They still left at intermission. Mm-hmm. And this man has seen 6-hour German operas and sat through that. Couldn't sit through Cats.
Cats was too much for this poor man.
Cats was too much.
Who got world-class tickets to see it on stage. He even said the cast was weaving in between all the chairs and everything. Mm-hmm. But still, that wasn't enough of an allure to stick around.
Nope. When Cats sucks, it sucks.
The play just sucks, guys. You gotta deal with it.
Uh-huh.
In the end, Grisabella does get picked to be reborn. And the reborn thing was a point of much weirdness for us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's the other place where it really departs from the music.
So she gets into this chandelier, jury-rigged hot air balloon contraption that they fire up by lighting a bunch of candles around the top of the chandelier, and then it floats away into the sunset. But the hot air balloon just kind of disappears as it goes into the distance.
Yeah. And then you keep expecting her to come back different.
But no.
But she doesn't.
She just disappears.
And it's kind of like like they just killed her. And that really, really enhances the cult aspect of this.
It really does. And one of the other things that's really bad about this is that McCavity is holding on for dear life onto the end of the rope that's attached to the chandelier.
Yes, because he's trying to float. Okay, because when they're talking about you get reborn, they keep saying you're going to go to, I think it was called the Heaviside place.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to get there. And when you play it where she just floats away in a balloon, like, it kind of makes it seem like they're talking about heaven. Whereas in the musical, if my memory serves me, they just kind of, it's like they walk off stage together and then they come back and she's, reborn, like, happy and I'm sure young, because it's probably a little bit ableist and ageist and different. And, like, she can move again and she's happy.
But no.
But they show her coming back. So, like, the magic is real.
Instead, this movie just implies that she's like Icarus getting too close to the sun and probably the balloon pops and she probably falls to her death.
Yes.
And meanwhile, poor McCavity can't hold on to the rope.
Right.
And he's stuck on like the highest skyscraper in the city.
Yes.
And for some reason, even though he's a magic kitty, he can't magic himself off the skyscraper or magic himself into the balloon.
Yeah, even though he's a teleporting cat, and it's been established that he's a teleporting cat, and he can teleport across great lengths of city, like from the theater to the barge and back, he can't get down. And it made me feel bad for him, because again, like, we dispute that he's really a bad guy.
He didn't really do anything that was super, super bad.
He didn't.
The worst thing that he did was make old Deuteronomy walk the plank a little bit.
Yes.
And even then, I don't think he was really going to push her in.
No, because he needed her.
Yeah.
He needed her to get to the heavy side.
Obviously, he's not going to push her in because he needs her. It would not be in his best interest to do that.
Right.
Now, the act of kidnapping obviously isn't very nice, so that part wasn't great.
No, that wasn't great.
But he didn't really hurt anybody.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't hurt them. He was going to let him go, I think, after he got what he wanted. And also, maybe if they didn't, like, shun him in the first place, he wouldn't have felt so desperate.
Yeah.
They'd have just let him compete.
Instead of treating him like a second-class cat.
Yeah.
But that's the way it happened.
Second-class kittiesin.
Yeah, second-class kittiesin. But instead, this whole thing just felt like it was a cat retelling of The Lottery by Shirley Jackson.
That's fair.
Where one cat she doesn't get stoned, but she gets sent off to die unwittingly.
For a good cat harvest.
Yes, for a good cat harvest.
Many fish in the trash cans.
Many jellicles are among us now, and more fish in the trash cans. All will be well for this next year.
Mm-hmm.
And that pretty much signaled the end of the movie. And I thought that things were going to end pretty quickly after that. But then Judi Dench's character, Old Deuteronomy, starts giving this long monologue about cats. And
yeah, they had to shoehorn in one more song.
Yeah, it was really awkward. It was so awkward. Number one, because Grisabella didn't get reborn, which was weird.
Right.
But then Old Deuteronomy addresses the audience, breaks the fourth wall, and tells us about the difference between cats and dogs. And then I don't even remember what she was going on about, but then the camera pulls away like this thing is finally over. And then it goes back to her again, and she keeps talking. And that I'm looking around, looking at everyone like, does anyone see this?
Yes.
It just gave us like a false end, and then it pulled back to her. Why?
Because she wasn't done telling you about the different kinds of cats.
Clearly she wasn't done. But why did they pull away?
A cat is not a dog. I don't know. Again, I think just to make it feel more dynamic.
If they were going to cut, why didn't they cut to maybe a medium shot or something, and maybe her doing some kind of blocking?
I don't know.
They didn't have to do a whole big aside and do a pan of the entire area around them before coming back to her.
Yeah, when they did that, honestly, I thought they were going to pan around and show Grisabella being reborn.
And it would have been better if they had.
It would have been a reason for them to pan out, but they didn't. They just came back.
No, we have to accept that Grisabella is dead.
Yes.
Grisabella died.
Yes, it's not even ambiguous.
Oh, I have this cat here who's not really a jellicle, but she'll do for the cat harvest.
Right.
There will be much catnip for all of us.
Yeah, and they bothered to make the other magic real, but they couldn't bother to show the transformation.
What the hell? So she keeps going on, and then finally tells you that you need to address a cat by its proper name. And I'm thinking, well, which name is that? You're talking about 3 names over here at the beginning of the movie. Which one is it? Make a decision, movie.
Yeah, it will not.
And then it just kind of ended. That was it.
Yes, it was.
That was it. I even shouted in the theater, well, the end.
Yeah, and again, I think I was the only one that laughed.
I don't think anyone else was amused by us.
I got a picture of your face when it ended.
Oh, she did. It was a terrible face.
His face, he looked horrified.
It was a face of abject just disgust.
Yes.
Yeah, disgust is the right word for this one because I did not look happy and I was not happy. Mm-hmm. I was just looking at this like, whoa, that's how it ended, huh? Thanks, movie. Thank you.
Yeah.
More of this, please. I live for this garbage.
And we even stayed to see if they'd have like an after credit scene.
We thought maybe
where Grisabella came back.
We thought maybe they rebirth her then. Maybe. Nope.
No, it just ended.
Just ended. The end. You give the movie the benefit of the doubt, and then it just turns around and screws you.
Poops in your mouth.
Yep. Just a big old dump.
Yep.
Big old pile of kitty crap.
Ugh.
So, yeah, this movie was just awful, and I don't think that the aesthetic was really all that bad. It's just that some of the production, some of the CGI felt like it was overwrought. And I think it really would have been a better movie if they had just kept the proportions the same as a human and then added, the fur costuming from the play.
Yeah.
They really should have just kept it simple.
They should have. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But instead, we got this, and wow. It's moments like this you realize CGI ain't quite there yet.
Right, and so why release it like it is?
You realize that CGI has come a long way, and we can do a lot with it. But as far as making an entire movie like this with real people as the stars,
yes.
Oh boy, that was a mess.
It was.
Ooh.
And not like a fun kind of hot mess, just a mess.
Ooh.
Like, not the kind of person who gets drunk and sloppy and tells funny jokes. The kind of person who gets drunk and sloppy and pukes in your kitchen. That's what this CGI was. Yeah,
the CGI was just bad. It was, some of it was good, but a lot of it was just the drizzling shits. Jesus. All right. Well, why don't we check out some reviews from people who think it was great and some people who thought it was just absolute trash.
Okay.
Let's check out our 5-star reviews first. And this time, since the movie has not been released on home video yet, we have culled our reviews from Rotten Tomatoes user reviews. And let's see what the people have to say about this movie. Our first 5-star review comes from Lou, who says, despite the naysayers, this is a fantastic movie. I was excited to see it, having seen the play 4 times. Once in London. It was. Why
is there an exclamation point after that?
I don't know. No idea.
I saw it all over the world. I've seen every production of Cats ever.
And this will be no exception. And it was everything and more than I envisioned. I will see it a second, maybe even a third time. Go!
Oh, dear Lord. Can I read one of these?
So our second review comes from Samantha, who also rates it 5 stars.
Okay. She says, I loved the movie. The critics and reviews suggesting it is too sexual clearly have their mind in the gutter. It is an entertaining adaptation of a Broadway musical, something that most seem to be forgetting. If you appreciate great singing, dancing, and fun, this movie is for you. If you love to jump on the bandwagon and hate what's popular to hate, might as well just save your money.
Unfortunately, sometimes there's a consensus for a reason.
Yes, once in a while the hive mind has the right idea, Samantha.
Not always, but in this case, yes, this is an awful movie.
Yes.
Just go. It's okay that you like the movie, but you like an awful movie.
Yes.
And like I say, it's okay. It's okay. You just gotta accept it, though.
Yeah.
Our last 5-star review today comes from Dan B., who says, excellent. However, You must have a cat or love cats in order to understand the story.
What? Excuse me? How does that help?
I do in fact do both of those things, Dan.
I've met few people who love cats as much as you.
and I do that story didn't make a lick of sense.
Nope.
I had to constantly ask Astrid what the hell was happening.
Yeah.
It was that confusing for me.
Yeah.
Having any kind of love of cats whatsoever didn't help at all.
My sister's also a cat lover, and she was distraught that he did not like this movie.
She was distraught. Why was she distraught?
How could he not like it?
What, she saw it?
She hasn't seen the movie. She's seen the musical. She loves cats.
Oh, well, I don't know why she likes cats. If this was anything like the play, it's terrible.
It was, I maintain very much like the play.
So why would anyone like it? My God.
I don't know. She's just grandfathered in that she liked it from when she was a kid.
Just because it's got cats in it doesn't mean I'm going to like any old bullshit with cats.
It does when you're like 8 and you see it for the first time.
I mean, maybe if I got the mind of a 5-year-old, I could appreciate it, but I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not going to like any old thing just because it has one other thing that I like in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if Cats was actually about dogs, I might be into it.
I mean, I love Batman, but Batman versus Superman still sucked.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
That's
a fair point.
And nothing's going to change that.
Yeah. All right, you win.
Why don't we check out the dissenting opinions now? Okay. The people who think that Cats was absolutely atrocious and gave it 1 star. Our first review comes from Anonymous, who says, my dad forced me to put this review on here and said he was so upset there wasn't a rope to hang himself in the theater for how bad this movie was.
Oh my God. He's anonymous, so nobody can
that was intense.
call for a welfare check.
That is an intense reaction to this movie.
Oh
Goddamn.
My God.
See what this movie has done to people? Holy crap.
Wow. I want to read the second one.
Okay. Our second review comes from Tun T.
Who in their sane mind think those character designs are good? It is a nightmare of a movie where you see naked furries and half-naked furries doing their Satan summoning dance ritual. What? Satan?
Yeah, you're.
He's on the same lines as me. This was a cult.
I think people are picking up on that. I think we're onto something here.
Yep.
Jellicles, Satan worshiping, summoning cats.
Yep.
Goddamn. And our last 1-star review comes from Jeremy K, who says, in a word, bad. In a haiku, a cat's life is great. Let's all sing. How great it is, we all want to die.
Oh my God. Yeah, though, accurate.
Oh man, that was a review, all right.
Oh.
Wow. Reviews from Rotten Tomatoes, everybody.
Wow.
Oh boy. That was wonderful. Thank you for all the people who wrote those.
That was surprisingly comprehensive.
It was an experience. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So why don't we go on to our next segment? Things or life lessons, rather, from Cats. Well, what did you learn from this movie?
When somebody offers to kill and rebirth you, don't trust them.
It's a lottery. Don't do it. Read a book.
Right.
Well, a short story. But same difference.
Yep.
If you are not a member of the cult, you will be shunned. Even if the contest represents all cats.
Well, of course.
So in some regards, it's a lot like a political party. Or as a cult, as we say. I learned that Cats the musical is actually terrible. I was always under the impression that it was a good musical based on the rave reviews that everyone gives it.
Oh no.
But this movie taught me things I never needed to know. I learned that actors don't know how to sing their lines so that people understand them.
No.
This was very surprising to me because in a Hollywood movie, you think that would be priority number one. Considering that it's been priority number one for most musical movies since musical movies have ever been made.
I learned you can release something that's like 80% done and just fix it later.
Oh, totally. It's A-okay if you want to just have a mulligan later after you've released your product.
It reminds me of like a shittier version of like if you've ever not finished your essay in time to email it to your professor, so you send them an intentionally corrupted file, and then when they're like, I can't open this, like hours later, you can be like, oh no, I guess I messed it up. Let me try again. And then you send them your finished essay.
Oh,
once you've gotten it done.
That's a dirty trick right there.
It's an effective trick is what it is.
It's an effective trick, but it's a dirty trick, and so was this movie.
Yes.
So was releasing this in the shape they did.
Yes.
Oh, that was embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that apparently you can just cast a major singer-songwriter and feature her very prominently in your marketing materials, and yet feature only for about 3 minutes total in the movie.
Gotta get those asses in the seats.
Oh, yeah. Really hedging our bets on all the Taylor Swift fans, am I right?
Oh, they're very loyal, the Swifties.
Yeah, despite less than $10 million that this movie has made.
Yeah, well, because one of them saw it and was like, she's not even really in this movie, and then nobody else did.
Shockingly, that pisses people off.
Yeah.
I learned that a shaky cam is always a good substitute for cuts.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
I mean, who needs a cut when you can just swivel the camera around all willy-nilly and act so violently that it's going to make people throw up in the seats?
Yes.
That's some quality cinematography right there, am I right?
Yes. I learned that hiring actors, singers, and dancers are all interchangeable roles.
I realize that having 2 characters worth of fat jokes is still funny in 2019.
No, who knew?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I learned anything else from this fucking movie.
You know, there wasn't a lot of life lessons to take away from this.
No.
Most of them just have to do with not joining cults.
Yeah, don't join a cult.
Yeah, that's
a good lesson to take away from this.
That's a very good life lesson. Life lessons from Cats, everybody. Yeah. What is your final recommendation for Cats?
2 human feet way down.
I give it a hairball in a flaming hot air balloon that's been popped mid-ascent. Yeah, one sad disappearing McCavity. I
Poor McCavity.
I do not recommend watching this movie. It was really that bad.
I say go see it. You're going to regret it if you don't, because this thing is a cultural phenomenon. And in 10 years, everyone's going to ask you, oh my God, do you remember Cats? And if you can't say yes and talk to people about how bad it is, you're going to feel socially isolated.
I guess. I can't in good faith recommend this.
Yeah, this is going to be another of those ones where I'm going to say see it, but see it drunk.
If you're going to see it, I recommend using a free pass on it if you can get ones, if you have one available at all.
Yes.
Or if you want to wait till it just comes out on DVD or something, which probably won't be that long because odds are, with the way it's performing, they're going to pull it from theaters.
Yeah, you might even get to see a second update on it.
Ooh, they're going to do a 3rd remix.
Yes.
Great.
Let's see, the best worst version of Cats.
Oh, they're going to get another mulligan. Oh, well, we screwed up the first release and the second release. We'll better get the 3rd one right.
Yep, put it back in theaters.
Oh, my God. I can't believe they got a mulligan on this damn movie. That's oh my God.
It's pretty bad. It's
embarrassing.
It's bad. It's not as bad, I don't think, as you're making it out to be, but it's not good. Don't make a habit of it. It's not professional. It
is not. That's really what I'm getting at here. It is extremely unprofessional of them to do that. Mm-hmm. To just release a movie like that and then update it like, oh, no big deal.
Yeah.
Oopsie, nothing to see here.
Yeah. I kind of wonder if that's why the feet look like they're floating, because they tried to do too much in too little time to fix it.
Probably.
So it's like not fully rendered.
Unfortunately, the CGI is not really the problem with this. It's literally everything else.
Well, yeah, I mean, Cats is not good. I've been saying from the beginning, Cats is not good. This was never going to be good. It could have been the best CGI in the world, and it still would have been Cats.
It's not good, and people are just getting the memo that Cats sucks.
Yes.
But I think I'm confused whether people are whether people don't like the plot or whether they are just freaked out by the CGI.
I think it's that people are freaked out by the CGI. I think people enjoy Cats.
Well, I don't know why, because it is just awful.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But I think people's main grief is with the CGI.
Well, okay. Good, whatever grabs them, I guess. My beef is with the actual musical.
My beef is with both.
I really don't recommend seeing it. It's not worth your time. It might be good for a laugh, but paying a bunch of money to see it, I can't in good faith recommend it. Wait till it comes to video.
Yeah, if the box office numbers are too high, they might keep doing this sort of thing.
Yeah. I recommend just waiting until it comes to maybe your local library or something, then go there and check it out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or even rent it, but don't give it the satisfaction of going to the movies to see it.
Like it's a sentient movie.
Yeah, do not give them the satisfaction of your hard-earned money for the box office draw.
Yeah.
And, well, that's really all we got to say about Cats, I think.
Yeah. I think they get the gist of it.
Yeah, they get the gist of it. This movie was terrible.
Yes.
It was just an embarrassing display of bad CGI and really revealed the truth behind how bad the musical Cats is. Mm-hmm. The whole thing was a wild mess, and people are finally coming to their senses, realizing that there's nothing good to be found here. I don't know.
Cats is bad.
I've never really seen anything else by Andrew Lloyd Webber, but if this is any indication, I really don't want to.
I thought Phantom of the Opera was Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, but I've only seen maybe a snippet from that, and from what I saw, it was more coherent than this.
It's also still about falling in love with your stalker.
Well, yeah, but at least I could make sense of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's good either. It's not good. And you know what's even worse? It's Phantom of the Opera 2.
It's really bad when we have to draw the line for just a basic comprehension.
Yeah.
We have to really start analyzing this on a real basic level. Mm-hmm. Where do we understand what's happening? Can we make any sense at all out of what's happening?
No, we can't.
That's the level of criticism we're dealing with here.
Yes.
And when you start to deal with that level of criticism, you know you're dealing with a piece of garbage. Mm-hmm. Comprehension escapes this movie. Yeah. And that's really the last word I have to say about this. And if you go to see it, good luck, because you're probably not going to get any more out of it than I did.
You know what? I kind of wonder, okay, obviously when they wrote it, they were on cocaine, right? But I kind of wonder if everybody has fond memories and loves Cats because when they all saw it in the 80s, they were also high on cocaine. And now that cocaine's a little bit out of vogue, they're seeing it sober and they're like, what?
They have to have seen it high in order to like it. There's no way you could watch this and think this is good. There's no way a rational person could watch this and say, this is good. I like this.
This was good. Let's see it again.
Let's see it a third time.
My poor stepdad. Everybody was like, let's go see Cats.
And he's just, please, God, no.
And he's like, okay. And then be like, why didn't you tell me it was this bad?
Because I didn't want to spoil your good time.
Right.
Why didn't you tell me it was this bad?
I didn't want to offend you. Maybe you'd like it.
Oh, those poor unsuspecting people.
Yeah.
Well, that is all we have to say about Cats for today, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed hearing about our experience at the movies. A night at the bad movies with another unfortunate case of movie. Oh my God. This was most unfortunate.
It really was unfortunate for both of us in slightly different ways, but still unfortunate.
We'll be back next time with another night at the bad movies. I don't know what it's going to be quite yet, but we'll be on the look for something.
Yeah.
In the meantime, check out our regular bad movie reviews where we find a movie at home and just watch it and give it the old treatment and review.
Mm-hmm.
Or check out our other videos where we play around with screenshots that we take and just riff on those.
Oh, I enjoy that.
We call those a story of whatever movie it is as retold by us.
AKA, you're going to get the better version.
Also, we have plans to do another series where we watch bad movies that actually turned out to be good. So keep on the lookout for those pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen a few recently that have turned out to be pretty good, like Freebirds turned out to be a really good movie.
Yeah, we watched that one. I took notes on it, and it turned out to be so good. We didn't feel right reviewing it on a bad movie podcast.
Yeah, there was really nothing bad I could say about it because
it was adorable.
Because it was really actually well made. I was very surprised, and I didn't understand why it got the bad reviews it did. It was very coherent.
Right.
And then we also watched Ernest Scared Stupid, which turned out to be a really good movie too.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few other movies that are fine examples, but those are just a couple out right off the top of my head that we might talk about sometime. But until then, soulmates, really hope you appreciate this. And next time, we'll be back with something fun as usual. Fun and terrible.
Yeah.
Well, until then, with love from us to you, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.